Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to my channel and welcome to live readings. I haven't been on for a little while. My name is Sadhana, for those of you that are new and haven't been to my channel before. And usually I do live readings at noon on Tuesday, but the last week Tuesday and this week at Tuesday, it was just not possible. So I'm here today at 5 p.m. and welcome Gypsy Jade. Good evening to you. And yeah, so tonight, I think I want to start with a reading for the collective. And there's been a few things happening in my life personally, and I really understand the, what I want to say, I understand the heaviness of everything that's going on in the world. And I think it's really important to remember that what is going on in the macro is a reflection of what is going on in the micro, and vice versa. And so it is really important to embrace that reflection. And if they're to spend some time journaling and reflecting on those mirrors and to see if there is something that we can learn from the macro and adjust accordingly in the micro. It's just such a wonderful way to move through life and to make things a lot easier. And I think I'm just going to use the way home. I wasn't going to do this today, but I had a viewer ask me where I've been, and rather than just putting this off, I thought I'm gonna show up tonight and be here for you. So yeah, so go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and as always, I'll do my best to get to you in order, but sometimes that doesn't happen. And if you have asked a question the last few weeks and you've had multiple readings, I may skip to the next person if there's somebody new in the chat. So this first question is for the collective. It is June 30th, 2020. We are within 72 hours of the new moon in July. In the yoga tradition, this is Guru Purnima. This is the full moon of the Guru, the inner teacher. And so let's just reflect on what what Guru means. And I think whether you practice yoga or you know anything about this, this is really a beautiful teaching in itself. So Guru is one who shines light and helps us to see through the darkness. And that Guru can be an external manifestation if we are in need of, if we need help, if we need guidance, if we need a hand, if we need support. But there's also an aspect of the internal Guru. And how do we find that light? How do we find that support when things seem so very, very dark? And so in the fullness of the moon over this weekend, Friday, Saturday, really embrace the light that is being reflected, because there may be some wisdom that is there for you during this time. Okay. My doggy just arrived home. Welcome to Kyle, and I see a new name above Kyle. Welcome to Pan Chan and Gayleen. How am I? Well, I may tell you how I am exactly in a few moments. I don't want to project my stuff into this hour, so perhaps at the end I will share with you how I am. All right, so for the collective, Guru Purnima, shining light. Where do we need to shine light? Clarity and so forth. 10 of Cups. I'm going to pull a couple of cards here. 10 of Cups, Daughter of Swords, 7 of Cups. Really interesting that the 10 and the 7 of Cups are on either side of the Daughter of Swords. The Daughter of Swords wants us to say what we need to say, to not hide behind a mask, to not hide behind fear. To the daughters, the pages, they're playful and they experiment, and sometimes they don't say exactly the right thing, and I think that's why we hide behind a mask, or we hide behind propriety, or we hide behind something, because we are afraid that we might not get it exactly right. But the Page of Swords wants you to be a little bit playful with that, and the Page of Swords wants you to say what you need to say. And she's facing towards the 10 of Cups. She's facing toward that fulfillment of emotion. It's like all this emotion is rising to the surface. And in order to process this emotion, so emotion, E-motion, energy in motion, we need to process, and we need to allow the tears to flow. We need to allow perhaps even like the physical exercise, so we can stir things up and allow ourselves to feel. We need to flake down and lie down on the grass and feel what we're feeling. This 10 and 7 on either side of this Page of Swords is really encouraging us to share with our family. She's looking right at that family connected, beautiful fulfillment card, 10 of Cups. And on the other side is the 7, and that 7 is like, well, I don't know, there's so much I want to share. There's so much I want to say. What do I start with? So you start with one thing. You pick one thing and you share that with the most important person in your life right now, wherever they are in the world. And you let them know exactly what it is that you need to say for your healing, for your understanding, for your fulfillment. Yeah. So that's for all of you. And perhaps that will be will come up and will be amplified and reflected in other readings tonight. But yeah. So there you go. All right. So I'm going to do my best to manage the chat, unless Kyle, you want to do that. Nice to see you. All right. So I'm going to start with Gypsy Jade. When you get to it, I would love to know what guidance Spirit has as to how I can become more of my empowered, authentic self. Okay, Gypsy Jade. So feet on the floor. Feet on the floor. You've heard me. Like when I do readings, I want you to participate. I want you to embrace the reading and feel your connection to the earth. Scrunch up your toes as you breathe in, and then soften and let go. No expectations, just being open. Being open. And I think that first reading is going to spill over quite literally into this reading, and that in order to find your power, you need to make sure that you have released what you need to release as well too. Okay, so this is for Gypsy Jade, who is looking to seek her empowered, authentic self. The Devil. The Devil. So two things right away. I'll pop another couple cards down here so I'm going off in the right direction. Lots of emotions. Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, following the Devil. The Devil is connected to the Swadhisthana chakra, the second chakra. It's connected to that place of our aversions, to our desires, to things that repulse us, to things that comfort us, and to bringing the balance of all of that in together. So when the Devil is out of balance, we go too far. We drink too much. We have too much sex. We have too much everything. We spend too much money online because we're trying to soothe. We're trying to self-soothe instead of self-soothing in a more spiritual way. And so this devil card is also sitting in Swadhisthana, which is the home of the emotions. So the womb that you were birthed from, right? The waters of the womb, the waters of the mother. And so there's this really deep connection here. Like should actually do quite a bigger reading about this. But for you, the empowerment needs to come through the balance of the second chakra. And so what I said about the full moon and being out in the full moon and the connection with the waters is really important. If you live near waters, get in the waters. Find and embrace that feminine quality, those lunar aspects of your life. And for now, put the more active side, just put it down for a little while and really embrace all of that. So get out into your garden and get to the ocean and do all those things that really bring in those softer qualities. Emotions. So write about your emotions. Talk about your emotions. Share your emotions. This is also connected, of course, to your intuition, right? So it's a big kind of unpacking to find this authentic empowerment. But you need to be brave and you need to be willing to speak and to share. Sorry, I just spat at the camera. These things that are really, really difficult for you to release. And it feels like this is a beautiful opportunity, right? So you've got the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups. This is a new beginning of, it's like this next layer of releasing all of that. So, as far as physical activities go, it's about quite literally shaking your booty, right? It's about moving and awareness in the pelvic region, nourishing the pelvic region. If you're on your moon cycle, it's about really embracing that as well too, right? Everything to do with that chakra. So in a nutshell, that's where you're going to find your empowerment. All right. Blessings to you, Gypsy Jade. Gayleen. Panchan, hello. Panchan, I would like to ask a question regarding my love interest. What is the future connection with S, who is a Capricorn? All right, Panchan. So, Panchan, be fully present for the reading and come to your breath. Sit down if you can sit down. I feel the emotion. I feel it's kind of overwhelming. And I just need to reread your question because it's quite something, all of that energy. What is the future connection with S? What is the future connection with S? Okay. So place your hands on your heart. Feel the fullness of the breath in the heart. And see if you can find some softness in the breath in the chest. I also feel it up here as well too. So I really encourage you to take a few deep breaths here. Whatever part of the body is connected to the ground, feel that connection, and then come back to the breath in the chest. So your future relationship with S. I hope that you have shared. Did you hear the initial group reading? I hope you've shared what you need to share with S. We've got cups. This is a Knight of Cups. Okay, so much emotion. King of Cups. Tower and Ace of Wands. Whoa. Okay, so the tarot is really going to hit us hard tonight with all of this emotional stuff. Much like the Devil card, the King of Cups sometimes doesn't want to go to the difficult emotions. And this is what is going to need to happen in order for this relationship to come to pass. It's like something needs to be shook up with the two of you. So instead of tiptoeing around the issue, it's like you need to just spill and say exactly what it is that you need to say, and to not be afraid to shake that up, because the Tower card, and you've got the lily white here, the Tower card is about being vulnerable. This is a deer or an elk who has shed his antlers and is standing in the front of this card feeling entirely vulnerable and open. And so for the relationship to turn in the direction of the ace, it's the 6. It looks like the ace. I'm going to speak to that. So for the relationship to turn in the direction of that fire, of the passion, there will need to be a sense of vulnerability that occurs, and to feel that and to allow yourself to let something go. Let something go. Perhaps letting down a wall, perhaps breaking down your outer shell, so that because this reading is about you, right? It's about the relationship, but it's about you and your journey and your healing. To have the 6 of Wands on the other side, and it does look like an ace, right? Because we've got the fire coming up out of the middle, shows that the potential for this to feel fulfilling is there, and passionately so. Okay, but those first 2 cards really feel like this is about you breaking something open. All right, thank you very much. All right, that was for Pan Chan. Hello, Aisha K. And Gina, hello to you. A lot of you are asking how I am. I've had some kind of sad news today, and I am going to be going, it's such a long, complicated story, but I will share it at the end. Yeah, I've had some very sad news today, and I will take some time tonight to process that, but I'm good. You know, I have a lot of practices, and I do get out in my garden every day, and I feel connected and well and healthy, and I eat well, and I live in a place where the air is fresh and the water is clean, and so I really have nothing to complain about, but I'm dealing with a loss at this time, and so I will be reflecting and moving through that energy. And even though I understand loss of life from a higher perspective, it's always challenging for those of us that are left behind. And this person hasn't crossed over yet, but it is relatively imminent. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Kyle just stepped in. I really appreciate that. So Gayleen is next with a general reading. Okay. Hi, Joseph. Hi, Joseph. Thanks for being here tonight. Okay, so Gayleen, general reading. Alrighty. Gayleen. Let's take a couple breaths, Gayleen. I'm just going to see if I can tap in here to what's going on. That first reading was really something, and I think on as a collective, it's really important. It's really important. Back rib cage, middle back, left side, feminine energy, mother, grief perhaps. Also, shortness of breath in the chest. So this is all related to, as some of you have heard me do many, many readings. And the most important thing is that unconditional love for yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you say kind things to yourself? Or are you that kind of person who is always kind of, knocking yourself down? Like really, like feel your breath, feel your chest, breathe deeply. Unconditional love. Recently, I did a gratitude challenge on tarot. I don't know if you saw I did 7 videos, and it's something that I want to definitely continue. I'm going to do a monthly feature on gratitude, but that is another, besides the unconditional love, is the medicine of this space. What are you grateful for in this moment? What are you grateful for? Every single day. And if you're going through something really challenging, the gratitude can really, really help a lot. And I'm saying this because I feel your energy. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say about that as well too. Okay, I'm shuffling the sassy burrito for Galen. Okay. Well, be patient. Be patient. We have a butterfly. Smell the roses. Take walks. Slow down. Connect to the earth. You have 2 large pentacle cards here. And so if this is not about your connection and your grounding and your taking time to land and be on the earth, it's about your health. It's about your body. It's about your digestion, your wellness, looking after yourself, all of those kind of things. And to be really honest with yourself in that regard, I feel like the Knight of Swords in this deck is really wanting to transform something. Because the way that Stacia has drawn this card, that the sword is the spine of a butterfly. Oh, that's so funny. I just said a butterfly landed outside. So this is the Knight of Swords in the Sacerdotito. And so there's something to that. There's something about your health and your wellness and your connection to the earth, and really being honest about that. Really being honest and with yourself, and being accepting of yourself exactly as you are. And I sense a sense of peace here. There's a sense of peace, and this is something I'm kind of intuiting here. I feel a calmness. It's like, okay, I'm going to give myself permission to make myself a priority, and to really to be in a way and to live in a way that feels deeply connected to my well-being, to my physical body, and to the nourishment of my physical body. And when the yoga posture cards come up in a deck, and I'm a yoga teacher, and it's like, okay, so do yoga. Do yoga. I don't know if you know this posture, but that's what it feels like to me, and there's also the lunar cycle is around the outside as well too. So, you've got some of the message from the initial reading as well too. Okay, so really look after yourself. That's what Spirit wants to encourage you to do. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me just say hi to anybody who's popped in. I see, and I'm really sorry if I miss your name. It's because, and people think because I look at the chat, I see everything. I don't always see everything until I watch it back. Lucy's here. Hello, Lucy. Nice to have you here. And I saw another new name, Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh, you're next, I think. I think, oh, Kyle herself is next, perhaps. Okay. Oh, no, I'm going to go back. I think, oh, Aisha. Aisha's next. Okay. So we did Gayleen. And then, oh, Kyle, you're so organized. You've got numbers for me. Okay. Number 4 is Aisha K. After yesterday's draining blow up, what will come out of EM? Sitting down with my auntie on Sunday. All right. So your EM is, or come out of EM. What will come out of EM? After yesterday's draining blow up, what will come out of EM? Sitting down with my auntie on Sunday. Okay. All right. So, and I also want to say, please don't be angry if you don't get answered in the order that, that you ask your question. All of you, please be, be patient and be kind. Be kind. Okay, so you've had a bit of a tower. You've had a bit of a tower. I think this is a good deck for that because the Sesservito is a very kind of real energy. I think that blow up was really good. It was really good, and I don't know if you feel it now, but the fall out of the blow up is cleared. It's going to, if it hasn't already, it's going to clear a lot of things. I feel an expansiveness. I feel potential. I feel possibility. But I also still feel the pain as well too. So, okay. All right, Aisha. Okay, and I'm just going to reread the question, just making sure I'm crystal clear on your question. What will come out of EM? So, be mindful of the words that come out of your mouth. Be mindful of the language that you use and reflect deeply on the power of words and the power of language. The first card I drew was the 8 of Swords. And what's coming up for me, first of all, is the reminder of that this is happening not to you, but for you. And I feel that you feel, this is all coming in towards you. And so what I want to find a way to encourage you to do is to kind of step out or step away from that. Give yourself some space so that you actually have physical space to process this, and mental space and emotional space, because it's happening for a reason, and this is going to wind up something. This is the end of something. So the next card is the World card. So the World card, actually, this might be a blessing in disguise, because the World card is the culmination. It's the end of this situation. It's the end of this part of your journey. And so to see this from another perspective, because I'm sensing you're seeing this from a negative perspective. So to see this from the grander perspective, you might very well have to climb up a hill. You might have to get up and go see the sunrise and look at things from a totally different perspective in order to really, really see this. So that first thing that I said, right, this is happening for you, and that to take time to kind of really mull that over. There's so much activity outside my window. It's distracting, butterflies and hummingbirds and all kinds of things. The third card is the Six of Wands. So this feels like a really beautiful process. So I want to encourage you to stay in the process, to be in the process, not to avoid this, but to allow whatever is arising within you to be there. Okay? And then at the same time, to be with the emotion, but find a way to rise above, and to really know that this is definitely for your greatest good. Okay, and the things are shifting. Okay, so it's the end of this particular part of your journey. Thank you. Jolie. Hello, Jolie. I said hello to Joseph and Elizabeth. All right, so we're on number 5, who is Jolie. I would like to ask about my health and love. My health and love. All right. I like this white deck for that. So Jolie, or Jolie, welcome. Thanks for being here. Jolie. I'm up here. I'm up here in the neck. So I don't know if you have something going on with your thyroid or your parathyroid, your throat, laryngitis, could be anything like that. Can also be connected to your pelvic region. So the energy behind this is about releasing the guilt. Okay, so why are you feeling guilty and how can you let that go? If I'm on track here. Yeah, this is definitely here. Whew. It's definitely there. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm just going to look at the chat before I pull your cards and see if you know what I'm talking about the guilt. Jolie. I don't see. Okay. And if I've hit a chord, okay, you do know what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is probably connected. There's some connection between the guilt and your wellness and the love, because it is connected. The pelvic area, right, is where the guilt is held energetically, and it's released here. It's released here. So that can be through the voice. It can be through a mantra practice. It can be through different breathing practices where you're humming, but you need to release the guilt. And you'll feel a lot better if you can let the guilt go. Right? That's what the very first reading was about tonight, was for everybody to release the emotions, to bawl your eyes out, to share verbally. So sometimes with emotions, we can't find the words. We can't speak the words. It's like doing a tarot reading for yourself. We don't speak the reading in full sentences. So we don't actually say what we need to say. And so for you, the medicine is in saying what you need to say to the people that are involved in this. And you're going to feel a lot better physically, mentally, emotionally. Okay. Yeah. Truth. It's time to cut to the chase and say what you need to say. Okay. And this is, you've got I've got 3 swords staring at me right here. 3 swords. The swords is about communication. It's about your truth and not, no more bullshit. Saying exactly what it is that you need to say, because this is about your karmic balance. It's about shifting a pattern. It's about changing a pattern. And the Justice card is about exactly that. It's about bringing your life back into balance through the truth. And you know what your truth is. You know who you have to share your truth with. And you perhaps feel as caged as this eagle in these swords. One of the beautiful things about this deck of the Suit of Swords in this deck is that it's also connected to ether. And there's this real sense of spirit and protection of spirit being with the truth. And so allow yourself to be divinely guided in sharing your truth rather than emotionally guided, right? The Suit of Swords is about that. So it's different. It's not a blubbering confession full of tears and that kind of conversation where we cry so much that it's like we're hyperventilating. It's not about that. It's about finally really, really sharing something that's been with you for a long time, because this pattern probably started way back, if not in other lifetimes. Well, of course in other lifetimes, but this pattern hopefully is apparent to you from before. And so you need to really, releasing the guilt is through speaking your truth. And these 3 cards are just, that's all it is. And I love that in this Justice card, we have the moon above, and this sense of all of these cards really speak to the intuition and the ether. Go light some incense, go talk to the divine and figure out a way to share these words, because they are your words and they're really, really important and they're really valuable, and you are valuable and you are important, right? And it's time to let go of the guilt. Bless you, sweetheart. Bless you. Okay. Thank you, Kyle, for doing this. I really, really appreciate it. Alrighty. So I think it's IT guy next, right? Number 6. I think I saw it was Joseph that wanted the business reading. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Okay. So number 6. IT guy. Well, we'll put away the lily white. This is it's a good one for business as well too. I have Chrisanne's Oracle deck here too. So let's pull an Oracle card first for you, Joseph. Take a breath, Joseph, and just really focus on your reading. Be fully present and put down whatever you're doing. Give yourself the gift of this couple of minutes. IT guy. Hello, Ember. My doggy was at doggy daycare today because I had people here working in the yard all day. Get back to elemental. Get back to elemental. So all of the elements represented in this symbol. So I'm going to see how that plays into the tarot cards. Get back to elemental. What does that mean to you, Joseph? Get back to elemental. Get back to basics. Go back to square one. Connect to the fairies, right? If you look at it that way, like the elementals are they're the ethereal beings that we don't all connect with. But get back to, like, it feels to me like paring down the unnecessary. Like maybe there's too much glitter. We need to pare it down and make it really simple, really accessible for everyone. It's a white card. It's a white card. So it's about, yeah, it's about that. It's about the basics. And I'm just allowing the emotion to feel what I'm feeling right now. Just a second. Yeah, there's a sense of overwhelmingness, and when I do these readings, I have my feet are bare, my feet are on the carpet, and the energy that flows through my feet is just, it's crazy what I feel in my feet as well too. Whoa, Itika, these are I got 3 major cards. So this is a significant time. It's a significant shift. It's a significant, not necessarily shift, but it's a significant reworking of your business. So I've got Sun, Hermit, Moon. So Sun and Moon are on either side of the Hermit. Sun, Moon on either side of the Hermit. Okay, so I'm not sure if you read tarot, but first of all, 3 major cards. Okay, so to be taking your time and to not, like, don't make any rash decisions right now. This feels like you may be very, very close, but the Hermit card is wanting you to retreat a little bit. And this getting back to basics, getting back to elementals, and this might mean something else to you. Like this word might connect to something you're actually working on. So when we have Sun and Moon on either side of the Hermit, it's like this perfect balance of masculine and feminine, of solar and lunar, and to make sure that this basic package that you are delivering is accessible for men. It's accessible for women. It's accessible for all kinds of people, you know, all kinds of races, all kinds of ages, all kinds of, you know, sexual orientation. It feels like the balance is really, really important. We want to make sure we have the Sun and the Moon. And this Hermit is just like wanting you to take a little bit more time to pare this down. Right? When the Hermit goes off into retreat, it's a total simplicity. It's simple food. Right? It's about taking time for you and yourself so that this can be revealed a little more clearly. So I don't know if that shines any light on what you're working through at this time, but that's what the tarot has to say. So thanks, Joseph. All right. And if you have so one of the things about these readings are complimentary, and there is no obligation to make a donation. But there's this piece, and you may have heard me talk about this before. There's this energy exchange. So I'm offering this to you, so you may in turn offer something to somebody else. But it's really important that we have this exchange of energy, and of course that can be through a donation. There's links below, but just think about that. And I'm not just talking to Joseph, I'm talking about in general. during this COVID season, we've all given away a lot of our time and energy in various ways. And what goes around comes around, of course. And sometimes we help the neighbor, and the neighbor doesn't necessarily help us back. It's like paying it forward. So how can you pay, all of you who've had a reading so far tonight, how can you pay your reading forward, right? In loving kindness or in other ways. Just saying that out there. Okay. Elizabeth. Marvin. Does Marvin still love you? I'm just going to scroll down to the end and see if I have any other feedback. Alrighty. You're welcome, IT guy. All right, so Elizabeth. Let me. Hello, Audrey. Tiara. Hello, Tiara. And Swan. April. Nice to have you here. Okay, so it's Elizabeth's turn. Alrighty, Elizabeth. Does Marvin still love you? Elizabeth, do you still love you? Do you love you? Important question. Do you love you? When we ask big questions like that, it's really beneficial to fire them right back at yourself. So, just asking. All right, so Marvin. Does Marvin still love you? So, Elizabeth, you can place your hands on your heart, your throat. I've also got this truth thing tonight is really a theme that's coming through. I've had a lot of sensations in my throat for many of the readings. And so hand on heart, hand on throat. Does Marvin still love Elizabeth? Does Marvin still love Elizabeth? Okay, does Marvin still love Elizabeth? Yeah. I feel if you want just a yes or a no, I would say yes. I would say yes. But I know you probably want more. So I will say more. I have two cards. Okay, now there's a deer outside my window. I'm not kidding you. Bees, no, what did I say? Butterflies, hummingbirds, and a deer. So you guys are pretty special people tonight who are hanging out here with me. I feel like, yeah, he wants to create a foundation. He wants to celebrate with you and play with you. And, when I see this 4 of Wands in this deck, to me, it looks like a trampoline. And it looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like having fun, though, having fun in the foundation, being playful in that foundation, right? So if you're building that home, you're building that relationship, and it's important to not lose that playfulness, to not lose that fun. And I sense a sense of seriousness about you. There may be an iciness to you a little bit, or a reluctance to be, or this could be him as well too. There could be this reluctance to be emotional. But you asked specifically about him, so definitely I have 2 cards that definitely want to celebrate and to be joyful. And so yeah, The short answer is yes. And I just want to see if you said anything down here at the bottom of the chat. Peachy T is here as well. So it's you, yeah. So just think about that. So if there's an iciness, if there's a reluctance to be emotional, how can you play with that, right? So to allow yourself to be a little more playful. And that might be outside of your comfort zone. If your comfort zone is that more, contained, controlled way of being, and accept an invitation to play. Go bounce on the trampoline. Have a tea party, have a picnic, that kind of thing, with your circle, whoever your circle is right now. But yes, I think he wants to celebrate with you. Okay. Alrighty. And Ross is here. All right, let me go back. See who's next on the list. Kyle, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much. Thanks for the love, Aisha. Gina, thank you for the blessings. Patrice, thank you very much for your love. Thank you for holding space, Lucy. All right. Hello, Audrey. I said hello. Okay. So number 8, Lucy Chipman. If there is time, a general reading would be appreciated. Okay. Can you guys hear Amber? She's like, she wants her mummy. Lucy. Lucy. Okay, well, let's throw that one over there. Oh, another 3 of Cups card. Okay, the last person had a 3 of Cups card. This is the 3 of Cups in the Sasrabito. I love the heart tattoos on the people. Rainbow. We all kind of want that now, don't we, right? That feeling of connection. Kind of feel like you're stealing away in the night. You're stealing away. You know that song, Big Yellow Taxi? I heard the screen door slam and my girlfriend took off or something. Why am I thinking about that? Like stealing away in the night. Stealing away in the night and going off, right, to sit on the mountain. Another hermit card. It's another theme that's going on tonight. So I don't know if something was taken from you or a trust was broken, but the energy is of moving away from that which no longer serves you and giving yourself some space for that. You've also got the 10. You've got 2 major cards, the 9 and the 10. So this is a change, a time of change. It's a time of, but it's also a time of quiet. It doesn't feel like this is not a something that might take a little bit of time. Like I don't feel like the wheel is quite settled in where it's going. I mean, I love that this Three of Cups flew out of the card. So you might find the comfort in connecting with some old friends or with sisters or, surrogate sisters, whatever that means to you. And I'm not sure if you're aware of something or have you taken more than your share of something, right? Do you feel like, I find that the seven of swords is a really tricky card because sometimes it's in our best interest to steal away in the night. We need to protect. It's like, what's that expression? Sometimes we have to cut our losses. Sometimes we have to cut our losses and just go. But because you have the 9 and the 10, this feels, this is big. It's big, and this shift is, it's going to move you in a completely new place. So if there's any sense of sadness or, negative emotion around this shift, just know that it's shifting. It's shifting. And so to be in this change and to give yourself space around it is probably the best medicine for you at this time. So yeah, so the first card was the change card, right? The Hermit and the 7 of Swords. I will scroll down to see what Lucy's. Good, I'm glad you understand. Always good when things resonate. Alrighty. Just scrolling down. All right, so next is Bria. A spirit message for Bria. A spirit message for Bria. Okay. Hello, Bria. I don't think I've seen you before on my channel, so welcome. Maybe a bear will stroll by next. Wouldn't that be amazing? Hummingbirds, butterflies, deer, and then a bear. That would just really solidify this hour together. I actually love to see the bears. I lived in Whistler, British Columbia for 25 years, and I loved it. I loved seeing the bears and watching them and seeing them season to season and seeing them grow and seeing the family pods shift and different things. And we see a few of them here, but not nearly as many as in Whistler. Okay. So, spirit message for Bria. Nourish your eyes. Your eyes. Something going on with your eyes. Eyes are also connected to the stomach, to the Manipura chakra, to the solar plexus. I closed my eyes and my eyes just went. Okay. So it feels like I feel like you need to do a little bit of, there's a little bit of research. Something needs to, at the very beginning, I don't know if you're here at the beginning, I was talking about the full moon in July, the Guru Purnima, the teacher, and the shift that is happening at this time. And so your teacher, there may be an external teacher that is waiting for you at this time. I feel like your teacher is connected to this this plane. And so that might mean you've been hesitating on signing up for a course, or you have been hesitating in contacting an old teacher, or pulling out a book and going back and doing some course that you have always wanted to complete, or something like that. So the message for you is to go back and do that, because that's what's going to create the next opportunity. So there may be a mentor waiting for you. And so, which is really a beautiful message, because that's connected to the Guru full moon. So if you missed that, so the full moon in July is the full moon of the Guru, the full moon of the master teacher. So just ponder that, think about that, and reflect on that, and that it might just be the perfect time for you to step forward with that, because it feels like there's this little bit of something that needs to happen before you step through the hoop. All right. Thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. Peachy tea. Alrighty, so number 10, Peachy tea. I would love to receive any general guidance about my life. What do I need to hear right now? And thank you for your consideration. Okay, excellent. So after Peachy tea, we will do one more reading, and then I'll be signing off for tonight. So those of you that haven't had a reading tonight, I will, it's just really important that you hit the bell so you know when I'm coming on doing live readings. And I would love to do it again in a few days. I really actually enjoy this. It's really nice. It's really fun. And if you can come on right at the top of the hour, then the odds of getting a reading are greater. And if you want to book a reading through my website, I encourage you to send me an email first, and then we can talk about a mutual time to do a reading. And usually I do it through Zoom. So, yeah. Peachy tea. Peachy tea. General guidance about your life. Okay. We need to switch decks here. Nope. This one is a mitful. Peachy tea. Waiting for that bear to stroll across my front yard. Sorry for laughing. Well, your reading is right on sync with everything that's come up tonight. Ace of emotions, Ace of voices, Eight of voices. So this is really, I mean, if this was the Sasarai Bito, which I was going to use, I know exactly what card would have come up. I don't know if you guys, do you know the card in the Sasrabito that looks like this, of the woman coming up out of the water for the breath of fresh air? And that's what I'm seeing here for you. And that's what I'm feeling. But also when I was shuffling the cards, my stomach was kind of turning in knots. And so there's this sense of, I don't know, like not trusting your emotions, not trusting your intuition. You've got the Ace of Air and the Ace of Cups. Ace of Air and Ace of Cups. So this is, it's important. It's important to, you know, they say that the aces don't hang around for a long time. So it's important to act on this right now. And that actually is quite timely. One of the things that as a when I'm teaching, when working with clients privately and working with the lunar cycles. So we have the full moon on, depending where you are, what time it is, Friday, Saturday. Today, we have a few more days working up to that. And so this first part of the lunar cycle, as the moon is waxing, is when we want to act on this, right? And then once after the full moon, then this is the time of integration. So it's really important over the next few days that you begin to, and it's the same thing I said before with a lot of people. So this general reading was really important. You need to speak your truth and to say what you need to say and to get off your chest whatever you've been holding in on your chest. You know, it's like a big reveal. A big reveal is exactly what this is about. And so, you know, you go for it. You go for it. And I love this Eight of Voices in this card. It's like sorry, I'll hold that up longer. It's like that inner wisdom, that inner truth is all connected to your intuition. And of course, both of these suits, the Suit of Cups and the Suit of Air, are connected to your intuition. So you know exactly what it is that you need to get off your chest. And it's like it will open up. It will open up something completely new for you. Maybe a new relationship, a new situation will open up as a result of you acting on this reveal. You know, I said before to somebody earlier today that these things happen, you know, for us, not to us. And so sometimes that's tough love, but it's really important to take that into account as we're working through things. Alrighty, so number 11 is the last reading tonight. All right. Oh, thanks for asking about the decks. If somebody was asking about this one, this is the Lily White. The puppy's fine. She just whines a lot. So, alrighty. Kyle, I'm going to do one more reading. So who is number 11, Kyle? I'm going to go back, see if I can find number 11, the final reading for tonight. 8, 9, 10, and who is lucky number 11? I'll just wait for you, Kyle. Okay. All right. Last question for tonight is Tiara. Hello, Tiara Wilson. My friend, why is my friend Melanie accusing me of things I've not did to her and trying to cause chaos in my life? Okay. All right, Tiara. That's a big question. So let's just kind of dissect this a little bit. So those challenging people in our life are there for a reason. They're there to shine something back. And so I encourage you to just write down a few words, not now, but you know, after, like, What is it that is so upsetting for you? How does it make you feel? What emotion is she stirring up? Or he? What emotion are they stirring up? What is it triggering in you? Okay, so that's kind of where we're going to go with this. Right? Sometimes when we're in the middle of the quagmire, it's hard to see the trees for the forest. So think about your own personal, like what is being brought up, because this external person who is stirring your pot is the macro reflecting something in your micro, right? This is your stuff. This is your stuff. King of Wands, take charge. Be the leader. Stand up. So the general theme for tonight is important for you too, is to ask the questions. Ask the questions and be clever in how you. So the very first reading, I said to the cards suggested we don't exactly have to get every word right, but it's important to share how you're feeling with the person on the other side. All right. Okay. Do you know this card has come up in this particular deck? Like, I think every time I've done a reading with this deck, that card has come up. Okay. So there's something about you and your power that is in need of space and in need of nourishment. So the King of Wands is the one that flew out of the deck. So the King of Wands is about leadership. It's about really embracing that wand. It's about embracing the energy and the mastery of your creativity and of your passion, and to it's such a lovely, lovely card. And so perhaps in this chaos, you have not been the best version of yourself that you could be. So we have the Hermit and the Magician and the Four of Wands were the three cards that I pulled for you. So with the Magician, it's almost like throwing everything. So I'm going to kind of weave the Hermit and the Magician together. It's like throwing, like, sometimes how we write out the pros and cons of something, but it's like throwing all of your ideas into the pot, into the top, the Magician's top hat, and shaking them up and really trying to figure out what is the most important thing here. And I think that's what I said before I even drew the cards, is that this person on the outside is rattling you for a reason, because you need to figure this out. Like the spirit has put that person there so you can figure this out. And you have the resources to figure this out. Like, this is actually, it's really beautiful. So as the Magician works together with the Hermit, it's like the reality of this is that it is your stuff, and the creative power that's going to come out of this is really beautiful, but it might take a little bit of time. So how do you go about doing this? You give yourself some space from that person. And when I look at this Four of Wands, This almost looks magical. It looks like something that the magician has created. It's like a private little cube that the magician has created. And um, I don't know, this is very bizarre. It's like creating this sacred space for yourself so you can go in and reflect and to dive deep into this. It's hard though, isn't it? It's really hard. Like it says big stuff. And how can you shift the language so you don't feel like a victim, so that you really get the lesson here? Because the lesson is really big, and spirit wants you to step up and to take charge and to know that you have this. Like, you aren't a victim here. You are in charge of the solution, and for the resolution, and for changing this pattern, because this has happened before. And this kind of nasty situation has arisen so that it never happens again. And so once and for all, you'll be able to act and, stand there with your wand and feel strong and be strong. And so with this strong, fiery energy, you might need to embrace that a little bit also. So the Hermit card is to me, a very watery card. It's like, internal reflection. But at the same time, oh, well, you could just simply, light a fire. You could just embrace the fire. You could, add spice to your food. Sometimes just a matter of going for a run up a hill to stir up these emotions so that you're able to actually articulate what it is that you have to say. I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but really take your time with this and know that this is really potent medicine. And deeply, deeply reflect and do some journaling about it, because it's going to be really, really awesome on the other side. You just need to have the patience to get through and breathe and breathe. Alrighty. So thank you everybody for being here tonight. Thank you to Kyle, and I really appreciate you supporting me and my channel, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Stay well, everybody. Namaste.